I'm here with Rachel of Cage Fight to talk about the debut self-titled record Cage Fight, out May 13th on Spine Farm Records. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and you? Thanks.
I'm doing great. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me about the record, to chat with me about the whole purpose and the whole process behind this album. And let's start with you. What kind of pitch did the guys give you to convince you that this was the right fit for you?
Actually, that was the complete opposite. Yeah, so the first thing James said to me was, I have something you might not like. So the thing is that I listened to it and I was like, this is perfect for me. So, yeah.
So it was an easy sell.
Oh, yeah, man. I just found it was very original myself. James didn't even think that I would like it.
So what was it about it that he thought you didn't like it, but obviously you saw something in there that appealed to you? So what was that something that you saw that you felt like, this is for me?
So I was looking for a band, but I didn't know what style because I was kind of bored. I don't know. This was like very positive vibe, very angry. Something I never heard before because I was proposed bands, but it was always deathcore. And I was like, wow, this is completely different. And it was very groovy at the same time. So completely different from what I've been doing. So I really love that.
So did you feel attracted to it by the challenges that it posed, the differences, and putting you maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone?
It's actually very weird because the style I was doing before was harder for me. Like, this sounds easy. Like, I listened to it and I was imagining everything I could do on it. So it really sounded easy. And yeah, so when he sent me the music, I had all the ideas in my head, and in one day I did the demo. So it was really easy.
Wow, in one day. And that was going to be my next question. How involved in the process of making that record were you? Did they come with almost everything finished, or you had a lot of work to add to what Cage Fight is becoming?
So the guys are writing the instrumentals. John, the bassist, is doing the lyrics. And he's like recording some demos of him doing the lyrics and stuff. And they send it to me, and I do all the patterns and I put everything.
Did you ask them to change maybe something around in order for you to be able to lend in your voice a little bit better into how the songs were flowing, or you were comfortable with everything that they gave you?
Everything was almost perfect. We just changed a bit, make some things shorter, make some things heavier, but it was tiny changes. Everything was great.
So this starts with James and John, and then they reach out to you. So do you see this still as James and John's project, or do you see Cage Fight evolving to become kind of like its own band and not just a side project?
No, we really, everyone is at the same, everyone is contributing. I don't see the band with any member changing. It would not work. It would not be the same. I don't know, James is not seeing this as a side project. He's seeing this as a different project. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's all.
You're happy with that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Once you said it was a really easy process, took you one day, record all the demos, send it back to them. When it came down to put the final touches, when it came down to record the record, did anything at that time become a little bit more challenging than the process that was before?
So the demos I was doing at home because it was locked down still. So we've been, we've been booked for the album very fast. So there's one song we just I didn't have the time to finish the demo, so that was really funny. Which we found like the final vocals on the day, which was amazing. But no, I don't know. I do everything myself with my laptop, so it's pretty. Let's see how it will be for the second one.
Hey, maybe the second one will be a little bit different. I mean, you guys probably will have more time to work together and
Yeah.
change things a little bit. But it seems like the process of making this album, it was not just easy, but it was enjoyable because I can see it in your face. You had a great time recording Cage Fight.
Of course, yeah. We were all together, and it was really, really nice. Yeah.
When I was listening to the album, I thought the album had an interesting dynamic from a construction point of view, and I want to get your take on that. The first four songs of the album almost feel like just one single song. Like when you're listening to the record at the beginning, if you blink, the next thing you know, you're in song number 4, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Like these songs just kind of came in so quickly. But then the rest of the record feels a little bit more spaced out. Like you're able to digest each song individually a little bit better. Why was the album built in with that format, with that kind of start, and then developing into something quite different afterwards?
Oh, we didn't even think too much about this, to be honest. That's a question for James, actually. But that's good. It means that you were not bored at all at the beginning, so it's great.
Yeah, no, it slaps you at the beginning, and then after that, it's like, okay, we're here. Now you can sit back a little bit and enjoy the rest of the ride. So I thought it was an interesting, because I thought it was going to go like that the whole way. You know what I mean? I thought the whole album was just going to fly by, and that maybe not give the listener a chance to really appreciate each and every single song. So I thought it was an interesting construct, if you will.
Great.
Now, the hardcore sound of this record, it doesn't feel to me that it has just one starting point. This album is definitely a hardcore record, but it has a lot of different influences. Do you see that as well in the soundscape? It pulls from like UK's hardcore, New York's hardcore, like it comes from different angles. Do you see the sound that way as well?
Yeah. We really have so many influences. It's not just hardcore anyway. There's everything in it. But we really wanted to express ourselves the most possible. So we just picked anything we love and just put.
And when it comes to your vocals, what influences you the most when it comes to your vocal approach, specifically on this record?
So how can I say? I always loved hardcore, but I've never been in a hardcore band, so I had to modify my voice. And when I saw Cage Fight, I was like, oh, that's the opportunity. But before Cage Fight, I was working with, I was supposed to be in a brutal death band. So I learned how to do very lows. Before I was like, I worked on something black metal. So I tried, and I was like, oh, that's my chance to do hardcore. But at the same time, I was like, I need to do anything I can to make like different, to make it more interesting. So, but at the same time, I was so angry, and so because I didn't have a band for 5 years, and I was like, I'm just gonna give everything. So my influences, I have so many. I can't tell you bands of influences, but the first bands, they were like Hatebreed, Walls of Jericho, because I didn't even know he was a woman, so that was pretty funny when I was young.
You know what's funny about that? When I listened to Cage Fight for the first time, I didn't look at any of the information on who was on the band. I just listened to the band. And then when I went to read the information and I see you're on it, I'm like, what? This is a woman singing? Like, the vocals were, I'm not saying that it matters, but I'm saying it caught me off guard, right? And then I was like, holy shit, this is badass. So it's funny that you had that experience with that band, because I had that experience now with Cage Fight. So
that's funny. And actually, we played last week, and there was a guy, he came and he was like, I heard you on the radio, but I didn't know it was you. So because he thought he was a man, and he was like, so when you went on stage, I was like, who is it? That's very
Who's
funny.
filling in? Who's filling in? You know, like it, but you know what? The interesting thing is that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It just shows how good you are vocally on this album that you're able to deliver. The sex of the person is irrelevant. It's all about the delivery and the quality of the vocals. And I think, in my opinion, they're there throughout. And I want to ask you about the clean vocals because I thought the clean vocals were really cool. Are we going to see more of that?
So I really wanted to add a bit of clean vocals for the people that love my previous band because there were a lot of clean vocals. And I was like, okay, I need to like something like this. And I would like to do a bit more, not to put on every chorus and everything just like that, but I think it's always cool, yeah.
Yeah, it adds a different flavor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you mentioned
really
that John does the lyrical content. How do you, as a singer, connect with that lyrical content? Do you give him some hints on some words or some songs that maybe you're not feeling that specific line? Maybe change this thing here, because you're basically singing somebody else's lyrics. So, how is the process for you?
So John is like writing all the time. So he sends us a lot of text. And we agree on the themes together. So it's always something we want to talk about. And he's putting his words because he's writing super well. And sometimes I had to remove things. Sometimes we changed, but it's really, really rare. For some reason, it works very well. Because anyway, my English isn't the best. So I'm always happy. Even if it's not me, I play it like a role. And if I don't identify, I tell him, and we just try and change.
There was a song that jumped at me the first time I listened to the record, and it's jumped at me every single time I listen to the record, and that is "Bitch in the Pit." I have two questions for you. First, are you the bitch in the pit in that song? Because you really come across as you're taking that ownership of that title of the track when you're singing. And second, whose idea it was to do this cover?
So yeah, I'm the bitch in the pit, like I say. I've always been, when I was young, I was always this girl. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of bitch in the pit. And actually, when we play it live, it's amazing because I actually go in the pit. And I wish people would just play with me when I do that, but they just stay like this and they just like. So I hope in time that will just come because yeah, right now everyone is just pathetic. Look at me. But it's funny, and we all love Body Count, and we were like, we need to do a cover, and I was like, let's do that. And I always wanted to do it. John's wife loved it as well. She is a bitch in the pit as well. And so we were like, yeah, let's do it. We really love that.
I thought it was amazing. And I think the people in the pit that are with their arms like this, I think they're afraid of you. So, they're afraid, like, because in that song, you really put your stamp on it. I honestly, like, if you've never heard the original, it feels like it's your song because it feels like something that you wrote when you were young and now it's coming out that from those experiences that you had. So I think people are taking it like that. They think, oh shit, we better not mess around with her because she's going to kill us in here. So maybe that's why.
Maybe. Well, that was very funny because it was difficult to cover because he's not singing like this at all. I was just screaming. Yeah.
It was amazing. I love what you guys did with that song. I absolutely love it. What track on this record do you feel that it represents your personality the best?
Well, of course, it's Respect Ends because it's the one that really talk about how I feel. Otherwise, one I enjoy a lot is Killer. I really like it.
So those are songs that we can expect in live performances. You guys going to put those on the set list when you're playing?
Yes, they are. Yep.
All right. Well, one last question for you. I really enjoyed my time with you talking, but I have one more question, and that is, when you perhaps now get a chance to look at the album, the finished product, and you're able to distance yourself a little bit from it, maybe not look at it as the artist that created, but maybe as a fan who's listening to it. What do you see as the biggest strength of this record?
For me, it's gym tunes. It's just like you're angry, you just listen to that, and it's powerful. This is what I would say. I feel like it's powerful. Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I think listening to this album, we're all a little bit of the bitch in the pit. You know what I mean? Like, it lets us get our anger out and enjoy the record a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Rachel, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Best of luck to you and the rest of the guys with the band. The album comes out once again May 13 on Spine Farm Records. Self-titled debut record, Cage Fight. Go check these guys out. You absolutely killed it on vocals. Congratulations for the work you did. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.